I'm a little late to the party, but Peter Thiel's a One Piece fan, apparently. And he's written an article in a conservative Christian news outlet titled Voyages to the End of the World. He cites One Piece as an apocalyptic story that tries to solve the dilemma of technological progress. He hijacks the story's intent and tries to fit it into his narrow and cynical obsession with the Antichrist. Peter Thiel's been going around preaching to shady think tanks about the next coming of the Antichrist. Meanwhile, he can't even definitively answer whether or not humanity deserves to exist.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
This fake obsession of his guides his views on One Piece. In the article, he pretends that, One Piece started out as a funny pirate story and became an apocalyptic saga post-timeskip. He points out obvious Christian symbolisms that were always present, and hijacks the narrative to fit his fake obsession. Because he has the communication skill of a wet fart, he never makes a convincing argument, but his understanding of One Piece gives us an insight into his true intentions.
Of all the scientists who have ever lived, which one do you admire the most?
Man, it's I'm always so I don't know. I think I don't know. I do think I can come up with probably lots of answers, but probably the early modern ones all have this heroic quality. So it's Galileo, people like that.
He believes that One Piece is trying to answer the question of who would rule the world, and he thinks it won't be the anarchy of the pirates or the oppression of the world government, and that Oda is presenting a third way. He completely ignores One Piece's message of freedom. His intro paragraph also claims not to know what the term Pirate King means. But it's clear, and Luffy has told us this already. The Pirate King is the freest man on the sea. But Peter Thiel's allergic to freedom. He also completely ignores pre-timeskip arcs like Enies Lobby, Alabasta, Skypiea, One Piece's non-Christian inspirations. He also doesn't mention the Revolutionary Army, and I believe he intentionally ignores them as they are against his twisted understanding of our world. His unqualified opinion on One Piece is irrelevant, but his intentions and immense power and ownership of our means of communication matter far more. Techno-feudal oligarchs like Peter Thiel see One Piece as a threat, and they want to hijack its messaging and morph it to fit their worldview. His fake obsession with the Antichrist is a facade to find inroads into the Christian right wing and use them as pawns for his real plan, which is to build network states.
It's called The Network State: How to Start Your Own Country. In that book, he talks about how to break nation-states apart into smaller territories which can then be run like corporations.
What I mean by Silicon Valley's ultimate exit. It basically means build an opt-in society, ultimately outside the US, run by technology.
We should be super careful with these attempts to hijack our stories and culture by problematic actors. This is going to be way harder with AI, by the way, since it's everywhere. Amazon is using AI for English dubs. Netflix uses AI for subs, and Taiki Sakurai, a former Netflix exec, said drawing 100,000 anime frames by hand was inhuman, and that declining birth rates would mean fewer people would enter the industry. Well, this guy's so up his own ass, he didn't think of improving working conditions for animators or the wages. Instead, he wants to replace animators with AI models.
I saw right through you.
No, stop, don't do it. Ash!
Skipper, no please. No, Skipper. Hey, stay with me. Come on, Skipper. Hey, you gotta...
And with Crunchyroll being involved in the anime production process, they actually own the IP now. And there's a chance that they pull a Disney and invite AI companies to train their models off of anime. Shueisha is invested into AI translation companies for its manga. This excessive tech involvement might encourage studios to focus on certain stories and favor sensationalist engagement, or, just avoid controversial topics entirely. We can stop subscribing to these shitty algorithm companies, especially now that they'll require ID to even access them.
Have charged digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Sailing the seas is not just friendly on your pocket, it's democratic at this point.